He is 1,000 years ahead of his time, but for the school children, he is just a strange, pale target. Born from lightning and hidden away for his entire life, he finally stepped into the real world, only to be mocked, pushed, and bullied. But the moment they go too far, they realize he is not the boy they thought he was.
Hey, what the hell?
A pregnant woman was rushed to the hospital after being struck by lightning. Unfortunately, only the fetus survived, and it was born an albino. When the father went to see the newborn, who was placed in an incubator, the brainwave monitor showed extremely high brain activity. The man stared at the screen and said, Time passed. His grandparents raised this strange child until their deaths. It turned out they had hidden the albino child in the basement. Sheriff Barnum summoned child psychologist Jesse Caldwell to investigate. Neighbors claimed the boy was mentally disturbed and eccentric, and that the elderly couple might have had a motive for hiding him. The sheriff and Jesse went down to the basement. He finally revealed that his real name is Jeremy Reed.
What's your name?
Jeremy Reed.
The sheriff couldn't take his eyes off this extraordinary young man. Jeremy explained that he can only stay outside if the sun isn't shining. He is extremely sensitive to light. Powder finally emerged from the basement. As he passed the police cars, a siren suddenly blared. It was then the sheriff noticed the roof of the house was covered with lightning rods. The deputy added that the grandfather's body was found saturated with electricity, as if he had suffered a powerful electric shock.
Body was juiced with electricity.
Jessie took Powder to the small town of Wheaton, where she worked at a boys' boarding school, and planned to leave him there. The moment he arrived, this unusual young man caught the attention of the boys playing football. Jessie told her colleague that Jeremy acts like a child who doesn't yet understand how the world works. In the dining hall, Jeremy sat alone, eating away from the others. Naturally, the local troublemakers couldn't resist bothering him. They sat next to him and mocked his appearance. Jeremy tried to ignore their leader, John. But John grabbed his food and started making fun of him, saying new kids have to pass a test. They have to balance a spoon on their nose. Powder calmly took the spoon, polished it, and placed it on the table. To everyone's astonishment, the rest of the cutlery suddenly flew towards it. The entire dining hall froze, watching in stunned silence. Another spoon began to move, then danced in the air, clinking against the other spoon, scattering in the air. Powder smiled calmly. Meanwhile, the sheriff was having his own problems. His relationship was strained with his son and his wife Emma, who suffered from a chronic illness and constant pain. People around town were talking about the mysterious albino boy. A doctor examined Jeremy and found him to be healthy. He was soon fitted with special lenses to protect his eyes from bright light. Jesse suggested Jeremy attend the local high school, and he agreed. On his first day with his new lenses, Jeremy got off the bus, drawing everyone's curious looks in the schoolyard. Inside, the eccentric physics teacher, Donald Ripley, was giving a lesson using a device called a Jacob's ladder, designed to demonstrate the movement of electric currents. But as the electrical arcs climbed the wires, Powder began to shudder. The pulsating energy made him feel intensely uncomfortable.
Are you all right?
The metal objects around him began to vibrate and warp. Suddenly, an electric charge surged through his body, lifting him off the ground. He floated in the air until Donald broke the device to stop it. When the teacher touched Jeremy, an electric current coursed through his body. Later, reporters gathered at the hospital where Jeremy was taken. But the sheriff refused to let anyone in. Donald tried to visit him too, but the doctor reported that Jeremy showed no signs of electrical burns or shock. His heart rate is a little irregular, but nothing suggests the kind of electrical shock you're talking about. He's feeling fine, though there was a large burn hole in his jacket. The teacher deduced that Jeremy is an electrical conductor, explaining why his hair doesn't grow. Meanwhile, Powder slipped out of the hospital unnoticed. He wandered the street until Lindsay's dog started barking at him. Lindsay was surprised to see him recovering so quickly. She noticed Jeremy's beautiful eyes, but he soon removed his contact lenses, embarrassing her. The neighbors stared at the pale boy as he passed. He told Lindsay he can hear people from the inside, their thoughts and memories, but she didn't believe him. Then Jeremy returned home, where the sheriff stopped him. He feels the deputy is afraid of him. Jeremy says he doesn't want to go back to the boarding school and can't stand the hospital anymore.
I don't want to go back to that hospital.
That place holds his worst memory, his birth. A little later, a professor from the Department of Education arrived at the boarding school. Jeremy had taken an IQ test and scored very highly. Interestingly, all of his knowledge comes from books. He can't watch television or be near electronic devices. Technology malfunctions near him, and it even makes him nauseous. The test showed that Jeremy possesses the highest recorded intelligence in human history. But he doesn't care. All he wants is to return to the farm. He also knows the professor secretly thinks he's a fraud and only came to prove it. Angered, Jeremy caused all the nearby technical devices to fail. Later, the boarding school boys went on an outing with the sheriff and his deputy. Powder refused to blend in. He feels a thunderstorm approaching. Lightning killed his mother, and he still remembers it clearly. In the forest, all the lizards in the area gathered around Jeremy. He feels Mitch and John approaching from behind. John is holding a rifle aimed directly at him.
Come on, man, it might go off. Go suck your old man up.
Suddenly, a gunshot echoed through the forest. The deputy had shot a deer. What a perfect shot! A clean kill right through the heart. He was proud of it. For him, hunting wasn't about survival, but the thrill of the chase. The deer was dying in agony. Jeremy approached, gently touched the animal, and then grabbed the hunter's hand. In that moment, he made the man feel everything the dying deer was feeling. The deputy collapsed, screaming in pain. Jeremy didn't release his grip until John almost shot him. But Jeremy felt the same pain and suffering. Later, he explained to the sheriff and the psychologist that he didn't attack the hunter. However, Jeremy no longer wanted to see anyone, not even Jesse.
I don't like what you do.
Frustrated, Jeremy destroyed the library with his mind alone.
And say
All he wanted was to go home. Meanwhile, the doctor advised the sheriff to readmit his wife to the hospital. She was suffering greatly, making their lives unbearable. But when Emma could speak, she begged him to let her stay home. She has no hope left, yet Barnum couldn't let her go. That evening, a frustrated Jeremy sat alone in the dining hall until Donald, the physicist, approached him. Donald was fascinated by his exceptional student. He believed Jeremy is made almost entirely of pure energy. It seemed he would soon not even need his physical body. His mind has evolved to a level humanity won't reach for thousands of years. The man of the future is here and now. Donald offered his friendship and extended his hand. Jeremy smiled and decided to show him a magic trick, amazing him. Jeremy's grandparents had always been afraid to touch him. The sheriff's deputy, however, was completely changed. He got rid of all the weapons in his house. He stopped participating in shooting contests, even refused to carry a weapon to work. And he confessed that when Jeremy touched him, he felt unbearable pain and terror. It was like I felt that animal's death. That night, the sheriff came to Jeremy and asked him to come to his house. Barnum wanted to know what his wife Emma was thinking and feeling. Jeremy transmitted her thoughts. She couldn't die in peace until she was sure her husband and son had reconciled. She cried because you both loved her so much and how hard each of you tried to win her over. Emma thought Jeremy was an angel sent to take her away. She thinks I'm an angel who came to take her home and to bring you and Stephen back together. She asked for her old silver ring to be returned to her finger, and she even briefly regained consciousness. Meanwhile, the worried nurse called her son, the sheriff, to come quickly. The father came out and hugged his son tightly. Finally, Emma passed away peacefully. Later, Jeremy went to the town fair. As usual, everyone was staring at him. Powder can read their thoughts. He told Lindsay that people think they are separate from everything around them. But in reality, everything and everyone is connected. Jeremy touched Lindsay's hand and made her feel his heartbeat.
Is that your heartbeat?
Jeremy was able to read people's thoughts and dive into their memories. His own father had always considered him ugly and refused to acknowledge him as his son. But to Lindsay, Jeremy was the most beautiful face in the world. She kissed him, but her father suddenly interrupted and attacked him. Jesse managed to intervene before things escalated.
Keep your state trash away.
Feeling more isolated than ever, Powder decided he could no longer stay at the boarding school. He packed his bags, planning to return to the farm. But before leaving, he went to the gym one last time to watch the others, to see what normal life looked like. There, he stared at Sky in the shower, noticing his hair and armpits. John saw him, mocked him, and snatched his hat away. Then Jeremy repeated what John's alcoholic stepfather used to say to him. John, who had been beaten by his stepfather throughout his childhood, enraged, slammed Powder against the wall. Suddenly, thunder rumbled. John and his friends saw Jeremy's fear and dragged him out into the street. Mitch alone tried to defend Powder, but John refused to back down. They stripped the poor boy naked and started mocking his pale white skin. Then they kicked Jeremy into a muddy puddle. Two other men picked him up and dragged him onto the main road. Suddenly, lightning flashed directly above them. The powder began attracting all the metal objects the bullies were wearing. The next moment, Jeremy seemed to explode with energy, throwing everyone backward. As the boys struggled to get up, they realized John's heart had stopped. Powder rushed to him and used electric shocks from his own body to restart his heart, and it worked. Mitch promised Jeremy he would help him escape the boarding school. Powder hid inside a hay truck and rode it back to the farm. Finally, upon returning home, he went down into the basement. A little later, Jesse arrived and found him sitting in a completely empty room. Everything he owned had been taken from him. Jesse promised Jeremy that if he came with her, they would find a way to fix everything. Donald volunteered to help them, but they didn't have enough time to escape. The police had already arrived. Jesse begged the sheriff to look the other way and let them go. Thunder rumbled again. The sheriff pulled his partner aside and quietly ordered him to leave. For some reason, Jeremy didn't get in Jesse's car. Instead, he told the sheriff that his wife hadn't gone anywhere. Powder ran out into the open field. He spread his arms wide as lightning struck him directly. Jeremy ran, glowing brighter and brighter until his body dissolved into a flash of blinding light. A powerful wave of energy swept through everyone around. Powder became part of everything, pure energy, no longer needing a human form.